Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Thank you for joining me here for part 4 of the Sustainable Solopreneur Series. I am so excited to get into this. Not even kicking, I'm actually ending things off just for this series. This series has been a wonderful time just getting on here, giving you the value around building out a sustainable content strategy for your brand and for your business. And if this is the first video that you're catching of mine, welcome. You can always catch the replay of not only this video, but the previous 3 videos within this 4-part video series. Keep in mind that this series was for the month of September, all around sustainability and really diving into your strategy and just piecing together, actually pulling out things that are not sustainable in your efforts in creating content and showing up and serving, and really how to turn on or transform your content strategy where it is now to a much more sustainable one for your brand and for your business. Now we're going to get into introductions very shortly, but before we do, I definitely want you to share this video out. Go ahead and click the share button, or share arrow rather, here on YouTube, and share this with someone who you know is leveraging the online space, meaning they have a business, they're trying to build out their digital presence, they're trying to create the content to show up and serve, but they're looking for a much more simpler and sustainable way for them to show up, create content, and market their brand and their business. So this video is great for them. Not only that, click that subscribe button. This might be the first video of mine that you're watching. Do not make it the last. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. Let's make this thing official. Go ahead and join and be a part of the NTC community. My name is Natasha. I'm a content strategist and consultant. I work one-on-one with my clients to help them design and incorporate sustainable content marketing strategies within their business. I pretty much help them tap into the power of content so that they can position their brand in a very strategic way, so that they cut through the noise of the internet and really align to the people that they want to serve through the service-based business that they have. So we're going to be talking about part 4 of the Sustainable Solopreneur Series, which is all about 3 phases of a sustainable content marketing strategy or content strategy. And the number one question that we want to ask tonight, or today rather, is your strategy sustainable? Is your strategy sustainable? So keep in mind, again, this entire series is for the month of September. So we talked about ways to incorporate much more sustainable tactics and methods within your overall strategy. Part 1 of this video was about the power of 3 and how to leverage it and utilize it in your brand and your business. That part really kicked off things for this entire series, because this entire series really just continued on the content that was shared in that first series, the first video about the power of 3. What is the power of 3? How do you tap into that and leverage it within your brand and business? And then we kept going with that consistent theme of the power of 3. 3 ways to simplify your workflow was part 2, and 3 ways to be more active in your marketing was part 3. So it was all about tapping to this power of 3, making sure that your content, the way that you're showing up and serving, creating your content, is sustainable for you as a solopreneur. Because one thing for sure that we talked about throughout this entire series was being a solopreneur. Whether you have a physical based business or a digital presence like business or online business, as a solopreneur, from one solopreneur to another, it is a lot to take up as many hats that we do on a regular basis to make sure that we are creating the content, we're marketing, we're showing up, and we're trying to position ourselves, we're trying to stand out, and all of the various things that are needed to really leverage this online space for the impact that we want to make in the world. There's a lot that's happening, or that happens on the front end and the back end. So how do we incorporate much more sustainable strategies so that we are not showing up in a way that's not aligned to what it is that we want to do, who we want to serve, and or the goals that we have? So that's what this series really is about. But just to dive a little bit deeper about what this Sustainable Solopreneur Series was, it's really for overwhelmed solopreneurs and small business owners. And I'm specifically speaking to those solopreneurs who are doing any and everything to put themselves out there, to create the content, to show up on a consistent basis, but their effort is just really not matching, or the results of their effort is not aligning, right? Not only that, but they feeling like they're becoming disappointed with the, ways in which they're marketing their business, the ways that they're showing up, the platforms that they're using. And They know for sure that they launched this brand of business, not for the simple fact to spend all their time trying to like jump through the algorithm hoops, right? They launched this brand and this business really for personal reasons. They either had a personal experience that forced them or really, caused them to launch this brand and business, or they leveraged their personal skills from their job. And they say, you know what, I'm doing this here on this job. It's either not being recognized fully or it's not being recognized at all, but I know I have this skill set, this expertise that can help someone else. Let me start this project. Let me start this brand and start this business, right? But where things are disconnecting is how do they show up and create content in a meaningful way, and that positions them to be top of mind for what it is that they do, right? And how do they do that in a sustainable way? How do they show up in a way that's sustainable? Because they are solopreneurs, because they're doing this by themselves, what do they need to learn, and what are the strategies and methods that they need to take to really cut through the noise and really just get closer to the impact that they want to make. That's what the series is about, reflecting on the way they were showing up, and less about chasing consistency and more about building capacity to show up and serve. Each and every last single one of us has been implanted within us a purpose, a gift, our talent, our expertise, our skill set. And it's less about showing up in a way that does not align to who we are and what it is that we're trying to do. And it's more about showing up, but having the capacity to do so, so that you are operating at your highest level each and every time that you're connecting with clients, with customers, with anyone that comes into your presence and they want to tap into your gifts, your skill set, your value, your expertise. So moving along now, when it comes to today's video around 3 phases of a sustainable content strategy, we talked about content throughout this entire series, and I felt that it would not be appropriate if I continued on and really did not, at least stop to take a time to define what a content strategy actually is, and really to help solopreneurs make sense of content and marketing for their brand and for their business. So my definition, because you're going to find various definitions of content strategy on the internet, but my definition of content strategy really is around the overview of your why, your what, your how, as it relates to how you plan, create, distribute, and repurpose your content that meets the needs of the audience it is meant to serve. And I am really highlighting a few things or stressing a few things here. The why, what, and how. Your content strategy, just think of it as the, map to a destination that you're trying to get. And it's saying, hey, you're going to be making a left here, a right there, going down this, you're going to be making certain turns, right? So your content strategy lays that out for you. Now, the goal that you want to have set with the content that you create, it should meet the needs of the people that it's trying to serve. See, creating content for your purpose, for your reason, is one thing. But when you are trying to make an impact, trying to build out your presence, and you're trying to become top of mind for what you do, the content has to meet the needs of people that it's supposed to serve. And those people are people that you likely are saying, I can influence and impact through my talents, my gifts, my skill set, through my service-based business, right? So, or what it is that you do. So once you understand that the content strategy is just a roadmap to getting you closer to helping people in your own, way, through your talents and your skill set, expertise, but it meets their needs. So it's pretty much helping people either overcome something, go through a transformation or some type of, shift or anything of that sort, but it's helping people, it's helping them meet their needs, right? And if we were to visualize this, again, your content strategy will be like that bridge between where your audience is currently and where they are or want to be. So I think of someone like a financial consultant, and this person is trying to target couples. These couples are either newlyweds or they've been married just for a very short time, but during tax season, they have troubles and issues saving money or trying to get more back in their income tax. And they're really like, And they're really pretty much trying to understand, hey, how do I make sense of being married and we're trying to save money? We know we want to start a family one day. We know we want to buy a home because we're renting right now. We are trying to, reverse all debt as possible so that we can really feel like we can breathe. We can have a financial freedom based life, but as a financial consultant, you're diving deep to learning about who you're trying to serve, and you're making sure your content strategy meets their needs. And that's where that's really how you visualize the content strategy. So now that you visualize that and you understand where your content strategy or what your content strategy does for the audience that you're trying to serve and also with helping you, your content strategy also is something that puts you top of mind for what it is that you do. So just think of it as a financial consultant. For example, you are someone who are targeting couples and you're trying to get them to save money during tax time, really trying to help them, get to the goal of having a financial freedom based life. And with that, they don't really know you just yet. They don't know that you exist per se. So your content is there to really provide them this sense of awareness around their problems and the issues that they have and really help position you to be a top person in mind for what it is that you do. So when it comes to, let's say, tax season or filing taxes or anything financial, based, when it comes to couples, specifically, this person thinks of you. If we're going with that example of a financial consultant for couples. So now that we understand that, there's one thing that you also have to understand before we tap into what are the 3 phases of a sustainable content strategy. You have to understand that your content strategy is really just a network of strategic and intentional action steps. That is all. Network of strategic and intentional action steps that really just work together to help you become top of mind for what you do, but also helps you meet the needs of the audience that you are serving. So it's strategic because it's very specific, and it's intentional because it's about meeting those specific goals. So what makes a content strategy sustainable? Well, here's the thing. 3 parts that go into a sustainable content strategy. And this is what I actually introduced in my free content playbook called the content playbook. But it's called the AIM method. And the AIM method pretty much outlines a sustainable strategy for solopreneurs and service providers to use to really map out the content that they're going to create and to help them become top of mind for what it is that they do. So with the AIM method, it's really broken down to awareness, interest, and method. And with that, it really gives you a strategic focus or direction to take with your content so that you are positioning yourself in the light that you want to, or what you want to be known for, and that you become top of mind to the audience that you want to serve. But not only that, but that you create content that meets the needs of the audience that you are trying to serve. So with this, again, it is something that I have already laid out within my content playbook, which is a free guide that you can download at bit.ly/content_playbook. And it really just introduces you to this method, just my reasoning behind this method. And pretty much it flips the traditional funnel. So the traditional funnel looks like this. It flips it this way because in my mind, I'm saying, hey, why am I trying to get people, into this funnel to go and push them all the way down to try to make this decision, right, of buying, right? A traditional marketing funnel will say, pull in as many people as you can, get them to the bottom of that funnel, and then get them to make a purchase, right? Well, here's the thing. You want to be top of mind for what you do so that you can ease that decision, that you can empower them to make that decision on their own. So what you do is that you provide the awareness around your expertise and getting them to associate what you do with you. You build up that interest within your content, or your content should build up that interest. And then ultimately, because you've been positioning yourself in a strategic way, you become top of mind. So that is really the foundation and the structure behind the AIM method. You're aiming, your goal is to become top of mind. That's the aim within your content so that you make sure that it's laid out that way. So let's go through the 3 phases of a sustainable content strategy. So again, part 1 of a sustainable content strategy is about awareness. And when you have your content strategy laid out, you know for sure what it is that you're trying to do. The first step of any sustainable content strategy really is about awareness, and it's more so about educating. Now, what exactly should you be educating and doing within your content at this time? It's really about educating people around your expertise and skill set, but more so bringing awareness to what I like to call the 4 P's. P's. Now, the 4 P's of content marketing is around your perspective, the problem that you solve, the process that you take clients or customers through, and also the payout of all said strategic, steps that you will likely walk a client through, right? So through your process. So what is the payout of someone knowing? What is the payout of someone, investing in services like yours? What is the payout of someone tapping into the value and expertise that you provide? What is the payout? What is likely for them to experience because of it? So that's what the awareness part of your content strategy should be about. So that means your content that people come across, especially early on when they're trying to meet your brand or meet you for the first time, really is geared to drawing in awareness around your perspective, right? So you may be a financial consultant if we're going with this example, but what are your thoughts around money? What are your thoughts around relationship, right? If you're dealing with couples that are trying to, build out, much more healthier financial portfolios in terms of reversing debt and experiencing financial freedom, what is your take on that, right? Because that's ultimately what they're buying into, your take on various things. Are you clear on the problem that you do solve? Are you clear on the process that it would take for people to solve this problem for themselves or get closer to the goals that they have set? And what is ultimately the transformation that you're providing? What's the payout? What is the result? What's the outcome, right? So really your awareness content early on for your AIM strategy or your sustainable content strategy is around and awareness and educating, right? So a lot of your content likely will be educational content. That content is just supposed to teach people about who you are. Again, your 4 P's, who you are, your perspective, the problem that you solve, process, and your payout. And I want to also mention here that attention is not the same as awareness. And I say that because for a lot of times we think that because we're posting every day, and we're on any and every platform, that we're generating awareness. Absolutely not. Just because you're using every type of platform, it only makes you just a social media user. That's all that it does. Now, it's your usage of those platforms and being very strategic in the way that you're using those platforms and positioning your expertise and really standing out and cutting through the noise that are on those platforms, and how you're just leveraging what those platforms are offer for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. That's, awareness, right? Awareness is really just a built up perception that people have within you and your brand. So how are you building up the perception? And you can build up perception by following the 4 P's, giving your expertise, providing your perspective, educating people around the problem that you solve and the process that you will take someone through to likely solve that problem or get them closer to the goal, and just also shedding light on the payout of of people being in your space and being a part of your community and really tapping into the value that you offer, right? So awareness content really sits at the bottom of that awareness triangle or your AIM triangle. And its really sole purpose is around awareness. Now, the next part of that sustainable content strategy is around interest and enlightenment. And pretty much what it does is it takes people that are now in your matrix, right? These people have now been made aware of you, and now they're like, we want to know more, or we want to engage with you on a deeper level, which you ought to, because here's one thing, your awareness content can be content that likely might be short-lived, right? This is the type of content like social media content, or maybe even emails can sometimes be short-lived. They're kind of like a mixture between awareness and interest related content, right? But a lot of times you have like the short-lived content that's really just trying to hook people in, right? And just provide them some level of education, right? But the type of content that you likely will offer people in this part will be content that really helps them sit with your ideas, sit with your concepts, sit with your frameworks, right? It's not a very quick, fast-paced type of content. It's more likely slow down. Like this YouTube video here, you're tapping into the concepts and the frameworks that I'm offering you. So you're actually sitting with this and you're building an understanding of it. And that's really the sole purpose of the second aspect or the middle aspect of your sustainable strategy is how are you getting people to sit with your content long enough for them to build an understanding and for you to help shape their knowledge around what you are providing them, right? So this middle part is about providing insight and into your processes, into your frameworks, into what it is that you offer. And really the purpose is to enlighten your audience, get them to shape their, you're trying to shape their understanding. Now that you have provided them this level of awareness, you got to shape that to help them tap into, say, how does this fit my lifestyle? How does this fit my situation, or what it is that I'm doing, right? Help them shape that. And that content, again, will look different than just like your awareness generating content. It's likely content that is in a much longer format, the interest related content, and people could sit with your ideas and your concepts a little bit longer. Now, the last method or the last part of a sustainable content strategy is really about the method that you're using to help empower people to make a decision. That decision, and if let's step back. So when it comes to, content marketing and really laying out your content in a way that meets the needs of the audience that you're trying to serve, your goal is not to get them to necessarily your goal is really to get them to a point where they have to come down to making a decision for themselves. And as much as we want people to just, hey, go click the link, go book a call, go buy, the product or the digital product that we're offering, it's really about helping people come to terms with themselves and to help them make a decision on how they want to show up and the impact that they want to have or make, right? It's really not necessarily about drawing in people just for a sale. It's really about a lasting impact, right? And when you think about that, you have to think that your content is literally a key to someone transforming their lives. The way that you position yourself, the way that you show up and serve, it's really you positioning, is really you providing a roadmap for someone to tap into, their own transformation and to really go through what all that is to get to the other side, right? And had you not put out your content, they likely probably would not have gone through that journey, right? To getting to the other side, to getting closer to the goals that they have set, to getting closer to the payout that they've been looking for, right? So with the last part of sustainable strategy, you have the method or the specific tactic that you're going to use to empower people to come to making a decision for themselves. And this last method here, or this last part, is really, it doesn't have to be a particular content type. And what I mean by that, it doesn't necessarily have to be a blog post or a email or a YouTube video or podcast. It's just really more so how you incorporate or empower helping your audience make a decision. And in order to be top of mind for what you do, you can't just have people fall off the cliff, meaning people have been following you on social media. They've been engaging in the content. They may have even joined your email list, right? But if you never extend the offer for them to tap into what your value is fully, you really didn't empower them to make a decision. So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily have to be like an email or a blog post or anything. It's really whatever the method that you choose. How are you empowering people? Are you offering them the opportunity to really tap into the value that you have to provide? Because here's the thing. When you're talking about making an impact, right? There's one thing to really just there's one thing to say, hey, I created content and I showed up, but there's another thing to say, I really offered the opportunity to really help someone make a transition in their lives, right? And that's the part of it that I'm driving home there. Are you empowering people to make a decision, to actually go forth with the transformation, to actually go forth with reaching the goal, or getting closer to that goal? So with that, you have to offer some empowering method, and they put you top of mind because they're saying, hey, this person is not only showing up, but they're offering me this opportunity for me to go full steam ahead into making a decision to better myself, to get closer to my goal, whatever that goal is, right? So that is the last part of, a sustainable strategy. Now, again, it's really 3 basic parts, but these basic parts really, when you break them down, they dive deeper than just what I have provided you here. And that's because the AIM method is really just something that's not the same as a traditional marketing funnel. And that's one thing why I harp on it, and I'm like driving it home and until I'm blue in the faces, because it's really less about this whole like draw in as many people as you can, and more so about alignment and authenticity and showing up in a way that truly aligns with the way that you, or the impact that you want to have in this world through your brand, through your business. So it really dives a lot deeper than just simply saying, oh, generate awareness and build interest and provide a method, right? To empower. It's really about positioning yourself and setting yourself up to make the biggest impact that you can make, to make the strongest impact or the deeper impact that you can make at each and every level of that of that triangle, of that framework, right? So when we look at that, it's really about, understanding with the 3 phases of a sustainable strategy. Are you in need of a sustainable way to show up and serve in your content, right? Maybe you have been aimless in the way that you've been creating content, in the way that you've been showing up and serving. Yes, you've been showing up. Have you actually been serving? Have you been, really generating awareness around your perspective and the problem you solve and the process and your payout? Are you really building interest within your audience and really providing them insight, right? And have you even offered a method or a way to empower them to really step into the transformation that you want to provide them? And I'm saying all this, and really it could be as simple as helping people understand that they need to, create a skincare routine for themselves. It could be something as simple as helping couples really reach financial freedom through the filing of their taxes. It could be something as simple as really, helping people, tap into their inner beauty, when it comes to getting their hair done. Like, the service-based business does not matter. It's how you showing up and serving in a way that's making an impact. But I know for sure that you likely have a personal experience that has led you to where you are today, to launching the brand and launching the business, or you have skills that you have been leveraging at your job. I've been in a space where I've been leveraging skill sets and a gift that was hinted at, but it wasn't fully tapped into. And, instead of being mad that the supervisor wasn't seeing me for who I was and really tapping into my gifts, it was like, why not just do it why not take the time to step away from this and help someone directly through the talents and skill set that I have? Because I have a larger purpose and vision other than just to simply say I'm creating content, honestly, and I hope you do too, where you're having a larger vision for your brand and for your business. It's not just I am showing up, I'm a hairstylist, I'm an esthetician, or, I'm a financial consultant, or I'm a virtual assistant. You are literally helping transform people's lives. So are you showing up and serving in a way where you are making an impact that is transforming lives, that is really, creating a movement of some sort, through your talents and your skill set? And I ask this question of, are you in need of a sustainable way to do that, to show up and serve in your content that you're creating and the way that you are positioning your expertise in this online space? Because if you are, or if you are not, I should say, it is likely that your content really lacks a strategic direction. It's aimless. You've been showing up, you've been creating content. You've probably been, creating a specific type of content every single day because you thought that this strategy or this tactic this tactic would get you closer to your goals. But you're realizing that you're spending more time trying to, create transitions in an Instagram reel versus actually help people create transitions in their own lives, right? So your content workflow and how you even create the content, or you have no strategy around that, which means that the content that you're creating, while it might be great on the platform that you're using, meaning it might be getting some engagement, right? People are liking it, people are commenting, people, are viewing it, right? But it's really a disconnect between who you are and who you want to serve. So you're not even top of mind for what you do. You might be top of mind for being, very funny, which is fine, right? You can leverage all your personal attributes into your strategy. But if you're not top of mind for what you do, there's a big disconnect between the content that you create and the way that you're showing up to the people that you want to serve, which ultimately means that you are not even getting people closer to making the transformation that they or looking to make in their lives. And not only that, because you're doing all of this, you're overextending yourself, and pretty much you are not positioning yourself for the people that you want to serve, let alone positioning yourself in the skill set and the talent or expertise that you have. So if this is you, I do offer you the opportunity to really book a sustainable strategy session with me. Again, as a strategist and consultant, I work with my clients to help them incorporate sustainable strategies within their brand and business so that they pretty much show up and serve in a way that's alignment to who they are and really position their expertise in this online space, cutting through the noise, right? So what a sustainable strategy will look like is developing and building out your content ecosystem. So, and you're designing your workflows so that you're creating content that really actually connects to the people that you want to serve. And it really helps amplify your message and really helps really position you, right? And not only that, with your content strategy or your content ecosystem and processes laid out, you have a direction for the content that you're creating. You know why you're trying to create it. You know what need you're trying to meet, right? With your content, right? You understand your why, what, and your how around planning, creating, distributing, and repurposing that content. Not only that, but we're going to map out your AIM method, right? So we're going to map out your AIM strategy for your business, and it's really about helping you create content that aligns to your audience on that journey of putting you top of mind for what you do. So there's no disconnect around your content and who you're serving. The bridge is, it's a flow. It's a bridge that takes your audience where they are to where they want to be. And ultimately, it's putting you top of mind because you've been positioning your expertise in a strategic way. And so now that you are aligning your brand with who you can serve best or who you serve best, right? So with that, a sustainable strategy session with me is really about simplifying, strategizing, and maximizing. All those are the three main focuses, right? Finding ways in your content strategy that you have currently that can be simplified, actually strategizing and building out a much more strategic strategy for you, and maximizing on your content in a way that you're not overextending yourself, but you're working or operating in alignment as a solopreneur. Not only that, but we want to transform your brand or your business and really help you to show up in a way that feels in alignment and you operate from a sense of authority in your expertise. Now, one strategy session with me is 90 minutes long, and it's for the total price of $349. You can get started with a free 20-minute call, though, with me to really just discuss where you're at within your strategy and what the focus for your strategy session should be. So you can submit a brief questionnaire, a form at bit.ly/simple strategy session. I would love to get to talk to you and work one-on-one with you to really transform your brand and for your business and really get you to become top of mind for what you do. Thank you so much. This is the end of the Sustainable Solopreneur Series, Part 4. I am so excited not only to have come to an end, but just really to have done this entire strategy for the entire month of September. Again, you can always catch the replay of this as well as parts 1, 2, and 3 at any time here on the channel. My name is Natasha Tony. Thank you for watching. Have a great one.